Hello guys, welcome to another MK Mobile video. I got the question multiple times. I have this, and this character. Can I beat Fatal Tower? And multiple people are asking me this question. So I decided to answer it. So in order to answer it, I'm just going to basically take you on a tour on my beginner account, so I can basically tell you which are the gold characters that I use all the time that help me beat Fatal Towers, and which are the characters that, which are the diamonds that I use all the time, which basically help me beat Fatal Towers. So I'm going to start with the gold characters. I'm going to start with the gold characters that are great at Fusion Zero. So as long as you have them unlocked, they're going to be really, really useful. Of course, I can miss something. I'm just basically talking from my perspective as a player. The first one is Slasher Jason. Even at Fusion Zero, he's incredible. Friday the 13th is actually tomorrow, so if you can unlock him, that's great. Don't buy him for money. If you can unlock him from his pack, all you need is him to be Fusion Zero. You don't really have to invest a lot of souls for maxing him out. So Slasher Jason, pretty awesome, not because he deals a lot of damage with his skills, but because he can bleed, and that's pretty cool. He can make the enemy bleed, of course. He can take a lot of punishment. He's not going to die that easy. So really a solid character. I beat multiple fights, even Fatal Towers, Battle 180 plus, using Fusion Zero level 30 Slasher Jason. So definitely a good card. Another really awesome card, Fusion Zero, is Classic Scorpion. If you know how to play him, basically you cannot die with this card. This is how great he is. So when it comes to the goats, there are a lot of goals that you can use as support cards. For instance, Combat Cup Sonya, incredibly useful character. She doesn't have to be maxed out, but in certain tower fights, she's basically the only way that you can win the tower fight. You just have to give the red card to the correct enemy team member, and this is how you win the fight. So incredibly useful character. However, she doesn't really have to be maxed out in order to be useful in towers. Another character that can be useful in towers without being maxed out is let me get to him. Once again, I'm talking from the perspective of my collection. I believe this is it. Classic Smoke, of course. Classic Smoke, pretty cool card. If you have him in Fusion Zero, you can build classic teams so that basically you don't care about those annoying Arctic wind modifiers. So Classic Smoke, pretty useful to have even at Fusion Zero. And basically this is it when it comes to the golds that I have. Nimble Reptile, not really that incredible. Another card, of course, that's really good. However, the more fusions you have on this card, the better. Hanzo Hasashi Scorpion, one of the best fighters in the game, but once again, he requires higher fusion. He can kind of work on lower fusion, but not that effective. And we are getting to the 3 cards that I use most of the time. Actually, 4 cards. One of the cards I'm going to start with Ermac. He doesn't have to be max fusion, but you need this card, to beat bosses. He is absolutely a must. Fusion Zero Ermac, you don't require him to be any higher than that. And the 3 cards that I use most of the time, 3 gold cards that I use most of the time in Fatal Towers, Aftershock Tremor, he has to be maxed out to work. Also, Stun Double Johnny Cage, he has to be maxed out in order to work. And not actually Cosplay Jackie, I use her from time to time, but I really don't find her that great in towers. I usually prefer to use either Tremor or Stun Double Johnny Cage or Combat Cup Johnny. And basically these are the golds that I use most of the time in order to get this equipment. There you go. This is the equipment I got from White Lotus Tower as being free to play. I haven't spent on equipment at all with the characters that I showed you. Basically, I beat Fatal Tower. In fact, this is my 4th Fatal Tower beat on this account with the gold characters that I showed you. We're going to get to the diamonds in a second. Important thing to understand is that some diamonds at Fusion Zero are better than golds being maxed out. So let's go to the diamonds. And the diamond part will be concerning only the characters that you need to unlock. So we're talking about Fusion Zero. We're not talking about having maxed out diamonds. Because when people ask me, can I beat a tower with this and this? Probably these people don't have 20 maxed out diamonds, right? So let's talk about diamonds being unlocked Fusion Zero. The first and the most important diamond that you need to have is MK11 Scorpion. He's a total beast. At Fusion Zero, he's much better than probably 90% of the gold characters at Fusion 10. So definitely having him at Fusion Zero basically is a victory for you. Make sure to get this guy. Another, probably the second best character at Fusion Zero is Strikeforce Scorpion. Absolutely amazing, great fighter. Great support. Having him in any team will basically make the team much better and safer. In many tower battles, Strikeforce Scorpion will be your ticket for the ultimate success. Another character that you must have Fusion Zero, but basically this is the easiest character to get Fusion Zero. This is Classic Reptile. Why is that? Because the regeneration fights are probably the most difficult fights in towers, and having Classic Reptile in your team will basically make sure that you can pass those. Apart from that, I hardly ever use him, but he is indispensable for regeneration fights. So let's see which are the other cards that I usually use. Ravenous Melina. If you have her at Fusion 0, just team her up with MK11 Scorpion and thank me later. Incredibly useful character. She's not really that much strong at Fusion 0 as a fighter or as an assassin. What makes her incredibly good is the fact that she boosts the dot damage. So as long as you have strong diamonds that can do dots, just team them up with Ravenous Melina, you're going to see the difference immediately. So another useful card basically is MK11 Sub-Zero. He can be a fighter, he can be an assassin. At Fusion 0 he's not that effective, but he can still put enemies into a stun loop and basically disable them and make sure they're frostbitten, stunned, bleeding, stuff like this. But he also is pretty good if you want to basically use MK11 Scorpion, and we already established that MK11 Scorpion is the best diamond to have at Fusion 0. This guy is probably the best support for MK11 Scorpion, so keep that in mind. Really, really good to have at Fusion 0. Another character to have at Fusion 0 is Classic Liu Kang. To be honest with you, I have him at Fusion 2, but I hardly ever use him. As you can see, he's level 12, because I only had 2 or 3 fights when I felt that I need to use this guy. A reason being, if you are controlling the fight, you don't care about the enemy having power or not. Once again, you are in control, you make sure that the enemy will never use his special abilities. So in only really rare cases, I felt like there is no way around this, but I had to make sure that I cripple them on attack. So yeah, and apart from that, Classic Liu Kang at Fusion 0, not really incredible as a fighter, so definitely you can use him mainly as a support. Another character, Fujin, pretty useful. I mean, one of the best supports to kill bosses. Just make sure the boss have Hurricane, then tag to any Raiden or Rain, you name it, and destroy bosses. Also, MK11 Fujin is the best disabler in the game. You can make sure that your enemy is absolutely crippled by just doing one combo and they're incredible. He works at Fusion 0, simply great. Another card that's amazing at Fusion 0, this is the card that I actually purchased, so this account is not really 100% free to play, even though I purchased this guy like literally 7 days ago something, and I purchased him because I just didn't want to grind 50 towers now to get him. I know now I have him at Fusion 0, I can do basically content with this guy at Fusion 0. So Classic Raiden is a total boss. Basically you're tagging 40% of the current health of your enemy gone. Even if the enemy has 2 million health, actually. No, you should be on the boss. It doesn't work on bosses, but if the enemy is a regular tower fight, he can have up to 1.3 million health. So imagine the absolute devastation Classic Raiden can cause by just one tagging attack. One of the best characters in the game to have at Fusion 0. Why I'm saying that, guys? Because you need to understand that there are certain diamonds that are much better than all golds at Fusion 10. One of those diamonds is MK11 Scorpion. And I can even go further, say for instance Fusion 0 MK11 Scorpion is better than, let's see, better than Circle Shadow Jax Fusion 10. Like, he simply is better. So that's the name of the game at the moment. In my opinion, the name of the game in Mortal Kombat. Actually, sorry, I forgot Classic Rain. Classic Rain is awesome at Fusion 0. He's really good. However, in order to make sure that he's incredibly awesome, you need to have equipment. This equipment doesn't have to be necessary maxed out equipment, but you need to have equipment. If you don't have equipment, he's not really incredible at Fusion 0. He can still work, he can snare, he can put people in a special one loop, but you cannot do, for instance, team bleed, you cannot do team debuffs, you cannot do team regeneration. I forgot the name of the debuff. There was a debuff that was disabling regeneration. So you can do that in Classic Rain and absolutely destroy regeneration fights. However, you need to have this equipment. You should have farmed this equipment in previous towers. So that's why in the very beginning, if you get Classic Rain, he's not going to be incredibly good, especially compared to Classic Scorpion. However, if you have, for instance, Classic Rain and MK11 Fujin, you can form a deadly duo to kill bosses. So basically, this is what I wanted to say. You know, there are certain diamonds that are incredibly useful at Fusion 0. Certain diamonds that are not really that great at Fusion 0. They only start to work after you basically step up on the fusions. And in the beginning of your MK Mobile journey, you need to make sure that you are after the diamonds that are great at Fusion 0. Because once again, those diamonds at Fusion 0 will be better than certain golds at Fusion 10. So make sure you have them. And I hope this answered the question. If you can take a look at my account, this is my account. With this account, I beat 4 Fatal Towers, and normal towers, don't even have to mention them because as you can tell, normal tower is much easier than Fatal. I don't even use MK11 Jade. I don't remember when was the last time when I used her. I mainly use the other diamonds, even though she's my highest diamond when it comes to, strongest diamond when it comes to Fusion. Once again, These are my cards. As you can tell, I don't have a lot of maxed out cards, not at all. With many cards I almost never played, and if they had some level, it is because I used them in challenges, because the requirement, for instance, was to play Triborg, so I played Triborg. And yeah, if you have such type of collection, you can do Fatal Tower. If I go to equipment, you can see, if I basically reset, you can see that I have a lot of tower equipment. Let me just do like, I don't know, what should I do? Okay, let's do like this. I did those 4 towers for sure. There we go. This is the equipment that I farmed from the towers. As you can tell, I don't have a single maxed out epic and stuff. I did the Tower of Horror, not Tower of Horror, sorry, it was the Nightmare Tower which I did. I did the Nightmare Tower just once, but Nightmare Tower I was extremely lucky because I managed to max out Trophy Collection for Jason. Apart from that, I got 2 epics, the Demon Bat, which is extremely good at Fusion Zero as well, another epic piece that's really good at Fusion Zero, and I got Killer Jacket. I believe Killer Jacket I got somewhere on the way, it was a drop, but anyways, so I keep beating Fatal Towers with this tower, with this equipment, with these characters. You can do that. So this was the way, this is the reason why I bought Classic Raiden. I want to use him on the next tower, and at this point I don't really care what I get from Battle 200, because my task here, my goal is reached, and my goal was to make sure that I have the best diamonds at Fusion Zero and I can use them accordingly in towers and make videos content. And the only diamond, actually there are 2 diamonds that I'm missing. Those 2 diamonds are the Joker, one of the diamonds, and the second diamond is Classic Movie Raiden. They're both incredible at Fusion Zero. Unfortunately, I don't have them yet, but I hope that sooner or later they're going to drop. Yeah, more or less these are the diamonds that I miss. Of course, Nightwolf can be useful, but I don't really want to turn this video into reviewing every single diamond and how good he is at Fusion Zero. All I wanted to mention is that you don't necessarily need to use your maxed out golds when there are diamonds that will do the basically the job better, even if they're lower fusion. Alright guys, so this is going to be all for me today. See you next time. Take care.
Perfect.